As the Bible tells us, you then who teach others, do you not teach yourself? You who preach against stealing, do you steal? You who say that people should not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? You who abhor idols, do you rob temples? You who boast in the law, do you dishonor God by breaking the law? As is written, God's name is blasphemed among the Gentiles because of you. So ultimately, I wanted to make this video tell you, be careful of hypocrisy. Be careful of that, because if we proclaim to be Christians, we proclaim to be followers of Christ, and yet we um, uh, deny doing the right, and yet we proclaim Him, and we may even teach about Him, but in secret we live lives that are not actually glorifying God. By the way, I mean, like, if we don't treat people in love, or we don't treat people with love, we don't treat people with respect, or do good for God's kingdom in that sort of way, um, in obedience to Christ, um, that hypocrisy can even um, that hypocrisy can even hurt people's faith around us, either of other Christians or even of people who could be Christians and followers of Christ, if we would turn from doing that. And I want to encourage you to be careful of that, because it's always important to yes, it is important to do works for Christ and to teach, but it's also, and to even tell others about Christ, but sometimes it's also not just that, but our actions, which also can carry a powerful message. So it's not just by what we say, but also by what we do. And if we do live out the will of Christ through our lives by trying to do good for others and trying to show the love of Christ in these ways, to altogether do as God tells us to do through His Word, we can also evangelize to others by the way that we actually live our lives, showing that showing God's work in our lives. And so I want to make this video tell you this, and hope it helps you. Just now, be careful of hypocrisy, and try to do the best you can to live in a way which represents the Christ, and be careful of necessary of hypocrisy, because it can even draw people away from Christ too, essentially. And I wanted to make this video tell you that, and God bless. See you next video.